This video will definitely change your life and the way you think about money in 2026. I'm going to show you 3 simple business models where you can actually start making money. Who is this video for and why you should be watching this video? If you are a college student, a high school, a middle school student, and you feel stuck, whatever you try turns to shit. Whatever business you start turns to shit. Nothing works. I think these business models are beginner friendly enough that you can actually start making money, and because once you start making a little bit of money, that will give you enough motivation to actually push even harder and get to levels where you never thought were possible if you didn't make that little bit of money in the beginning. So if you have a cell phone and a Wi-Fi, you can start making money with these business models. You do not need a website. You don't need money to run ads. You don't need previous experience. So the first business model is lead generation that we're gonna cover in depth in this video. The second one is, let me move this. The second one is appointment setting, and the third one is content clipping. I think these 3 models are probably the best ways to make money in 2026. The best ways, especially if you're a beginner. All right, lead generation. You basically find businesses that need more customers and you bring them more leads. And how do you do that? Well, there are many ways to do that. The number one way, which is my favorite way to do it, is cold outreach. So basically, this can be done via email marketing, SMS marketing, cold DMing people on Instagram, and just reaching out to as many people as you can to find leads. And who are you going to send these leads to? You're going to find businesses that need more customers. And my favorite businesses to do this with are local businesses. And most of the time, if you think about it, these local businesses are not online. They don't know how to run ads. They don't know how to do cold outreach. They don't know how to advertise. And I used to do this with local dentist clinics, with roofers, home services, for example, plumbing, handyman, what else? Cleaners. I used to do this with whatever local business I could find, where I saw they had the potential to get more customers if they only did a little bit of outreach, right? So you can start by doing that. You can start cold calling businesses first, these local businesses, to basically get them started and let them know about your service. So for example, you can start cold calling and basically provide them the service you provide, which is getting them more leads. Once you get them signed up, you can do this for free. Just say that you're doing a 30-day free trial, and if you get them a lead, they can pay you. If not, it's free, right? You can start with that, and then once you start getting comfortable with cold calling and finding leads for these people and learning how to do marketing, how to do SMS marketing, how to run ads, then you can stop the free trial, and then when you outreach to these local businesses, you can provide them a package where you guarantee them that you'll get them these amount of leads and it's going to cost them this much, for example. And and I think once you get to a point where the time that you spend cold outreaching, sending DMs, sending emails, you get to a point where the time that you're spending is not worth the money that type of outreach brings. That's where you solely pivot to only running ads, right? So you can, from the beginning, you can start by just running ads as soon as you get the client signed. And running ads are probably one of the most effective ways to get leads for these businesses. So that's the number one thing you can give a try, a solid try. Don't just do it for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months. Give it a try. Actually do it for 6 months, 8 months. Give it a real try. At least cold call 1,000 local businesses. See if you can actually help these businesses. Don't just think that I want to make money from this. Think about actually bringing customers to these businesses, and once you do that, I think it's pretty easy to start signing people. And number two is appointment setting. One of my favorite ways to do this is with AI. So you can start if you have a little bit of coding experience. This can be really easy for you. And if you don't, with AI, you can literally an AI receptionist bot in like a matter of days or a week. So you can use Claude to code, to start coding, and then you can use services like vapi.ai and the OpenAI tools to connect all these tools and basically create your AI receptionist. And then once your receptionist is ready, you can start providing that service to local businesses, right? Let's say we have a roofer, or even a better example, let's say there's a plumber. They provide 24-hour services, 24-hour plumbing services. But if you call them at 10 p.m. at night, it's likely that they won't answer, or there will be a really long wait time to get a hang of someone, right? That's where this AI receptionist can really change the game for these type of businesses. Again, same as the first service, you start by cold calling these local businesses and providing your AI receptionist service to them. The goal here is to just give them a demo. Just give them a demo of your AI receptionist, because once they see how it works, it's like really hard for them not to buy your service. When I was selling these services, I was charging $500 a month for it, and then based on their usage of the receptionist, the cost could go higher from 500. And then I had a $500 setup fee. So once I got a client signed, that would bring in $1,000. And I started doing this by cold calling. And then once I saw that cold calling was not bringing in enough people, I started running ads to these local businesses. And ads, again, changed everything, which I think is important to understand from now. Like right now that you're starting, that running ads are probably not comparable to cold calling. But cold calling is really important. You should learn it. Like it's the first thing you should start doing before even running ads. So appointment setting. You can also not use AI and provide your appointment setting services to these local businesses, and you can be the receptionist. So for example, when people call, you book them an appointment and you let the customer know. Like you can create a backend system where as soon as you get calls, you book in the customer and you automatically let the client know. I'll create more videos on the backend side of this, which can be a little bit confusing in the beginning, but once you get a hang of it, it's not that hard. And the last business model is content clipping. This is a little bit oversaturated right now, but still, if you're a good editor and you know how to edit videos, I mean, editing videos are not hard. If you spend a week learning how to edit, you you can clip videos for people. It's not that hard. The hardest part here is to find clients, right? And then again, I did my outreach for this type of business via Twitter, X. So you find these creators where they do live streamings, and then you start cold DMing them, telling them about your service and showing them some of your work. And if they're interested, they'll get back to you and they'll pay a decent amount. And if you do a good job for them, you can ask for a raise, and based on the work that you're doing. And if they like it enough, you'll be surprised on how much they can pay you. So again, this is another really good skill that you can learn. So if you made it this far to the video, I'm pretty sure that you're serious about turning your life around. And I'm sure you're tired of trying a million things and nothing working. And I think it can be really hard when you're in a position that you want to do something, you want to start a business, and you're actually putting in the work, but you feel kind of lost because whatever you touch turns to shit. And that's where that's where you need some type of guidance from someone that's already done it, so you stop wasting time. If you need help with these services that I mentioned here, comment money and I'm gonna DM you and we can work together. But other than that, thanks for watching the video and I'll see you in the next one. If you want me to go in depth in showing you how I made my AI receptionist bot, or you want me to go in depth in showing you how I run ads or how I do email marketing, comment down below and I'll make a video about it. Thank you. Hey, welcome back. Today I have a lot of value to give you, so keep watching this video. I'm going to talk about why you need to stop switching your side hustles and why you need to stop switching businesses or business models. And this is something that I think when starting out, all of us do. We try to do something for a few weeks, we see no results, and we switch back to the thing that we started a couple of months ago, and then we get this random new idea that we want to work on. And it just becomes a trap where you build a little bit of momentum working on your side hustle. It's called a side hustle because obviously you have a full-time job, which is your main source of income, and then you have a business that you're trying to start on the side, or you're a full-time student and then you're on the side trying to build a business. So when building a business on the side and trying to make money on the side, the momentum that you build takes a lot of time. So let's say you work on a business for a month. Over time, over the span of that month, let's say you work on it 5 times a week, you work 2 to 3 hours a day, and then you build that bit of momentum during that month by working 2 to 3 hours on it a day, right? And then you start building that momentum week after week after week for that full month, but then you switch to a different business because you didn't see results. But the only thing you're not seeing there is the momentum that you're building. Of course, you can't see the result because it's so new, but the momentum you're building, you cannot see it, right? So that's why I think so many people waste so much of the momentum that they build because they just randomly switch to a different thing. Instead of sticking to that thing they spend so much time in and actually giving it a solid try. Let's say you're cold calling. You're cold calling for your AI automation business, trying to find leads and people who you can actually help, right? Let's say you start calling 20 businesses a day, and you keep doing this for a month, right? And by the end of the month, you have no customers. But the only thing you're not realizing is that during those 30 days, your sales skills have gone up so much that if you keep doing this for another month or two, your chances of getting a customer has gone up way, way more than when you first started. So this is something that people don't realize and they take it really lightly. Um, but I think this was a really important learning for me when I started cold calling because, and it's not just about cold calling. Let's say you're doing something else and you build that momentum and you get so good at it, right? And then you switch to something else and you lose all that because you're doing something completely different. Most side hustles fail because of overquitting. Again, you build that momentum and then you don't see it because you're not seeing results, and you quit because you're not seeing results. Um, so I think being able to overcome the challenge, like that early challenge of not seeing results, but still putting in the work and building up that momentum slowly, slowly, slowly over time, will actually really help you to not quit early and actually push through. Because there's also something else you need to realize, that if you want to be successful, you need to look at it this way. Let's say you're working on this thing for 30 days, a month, and you're not seeing results, and you're like ready to give up and go to the next thing, right? But the thing that you're not seeing is that so many other people were in the same spot and they actually stopped and gave up. But you, if you keep going, you're gonna surpass all those people and be the outcast, right? So I also had this idea in my mind that when I was first starting, where I had this like stupid idea of this is something like I would think to myself that this is something that anyone else can do and make money. Why am I so special um, to be the one that makes more money? Or like I would think that this is something that people who are way better than me and who have way more experience than me can make money in. Why me, the new guy who has no experience and is probably not as smart as them, can make money doing? So that's this little stupid idea I had in my mind. And I think when you think of it as when you get to that point where like you want to quit and you think of it as there are probably 99% of people competing with me right now at this moment that will quit after not seeing results for working this hard for this long. But me, if I keep going, I will overcome and beat all those people that are currently competing with me, but I cannot see physically, right? But there are a lot of people competing with you and doing the same thing that you're doing. And if you don't quit, you'll beat them. Because remember, no matter how smart people are, how much smarter people are than you, and how much more experience they have than you, if you put in the work, you can get to their level and even surpass them. So never have that limiting belief of, because I was guilty of this, never have the limiting belief that they're better than me because they have so much more experience than me and they're so much more smart than me and they were born in a certain country and I was born in a, I was an immigrant or I was this, I was that, and my English is not good or this and that. I think those things can really bring down your ambition and the drive that you have. Um, so if you think of it in that framework, it makes it much more easy to push through and not quit. So use this three-step filter when you're trying to push through. Is it something that's sellable today? Is there no upfront cost? And is it something repeatable that you can sell weekly? When you're trying to sell your service or product, you need to think of it as how much money you're putting in upfront. Like, how much investment are you making in this and how much money you're risking? And is this something that people actually want when you're trying to sell? And is this something that those people are going to come back to buy repeatedly? Or is it something that they buy one time and you never see them again, right? So I think if you follow this three-step formula and you check all those boxes, your chances of um, building up your business and building that momentum and slowly start to get customers is way higher compared to if you're selling something that you need a lot of upfront investment, um, and it's something that you sell one time and those customers never really come back, or they come back after a year, and it's not something that you can sell right now. So if you don't check these boxes, I think it's important to go back and, because this is a business you're starting from scratch and you probably don't have a lot of money to invest in. So if you don't check all these boxes, I would reconsider the business you're in. And this is one of the probably most important things when you're starting your business. Is your business something that is flashy and it's enticing to you and it's something that like pulls you towards doing, or is it something that actually helps people? The flashy side hustles could be things like day trading. When you see these people making money online, when you see people posting their um, day trading wins, and you see people online um, talking about their trades and how much money they make, it's really enticing, and it's like for people who have a little bit of experience, it's something that a little bit of experience trading, it's something that they might lean towards. But at the end of the day, we know that no matter how much of a good trading coach you are, it's a really hard thing to, it's a really hard career to be successful in, and like 99% of people lose money trading. So is day trading something that can actually help people, or this is something that you are trying to do just to make money because it sells easily, right? So flashy side hustles and reliable solutions for businesses, like actual help that you can do for businesses. In my opinion, the second way, it can be hard in the beginning because you need to build up that momentum and try to build a reputation for yourself, and um, it takes a lot of work. But at the end, this will pay you way more than this. This will probably damage your reputation and image. Maybe in the beginning you can make a lot of money, but at the end of the day, when you're doing this long term, because this business, we're not trying to do just for a month or two just to make quick money, right? This is something we're trying to build for like the for our entire life. Like this is something that we want to put all our energy and focus in. So I think thinking about it like long term, it makes more sense to build a business that actually helps people. It provides a solution to a problem than day trading, right? And then committing to your side hustle. I see so many people, I have so many friends that talk about something they want to start with, and they do it for a day, a week, a few weeks, and then they stop. I think it's important to, when you start a business, at least give it 30 days just to see if this is something actually you want to do. And then after that, once you put in those 30 days and you journal and see, oh, this is something I can do, and then you build like a future plan for it, like a vision, then you can start putting in more work towards it. And um, that's where the 30 days is not enough, right? That's where like those um, long years of hard work come in, and then you basically build a plan for multiple years and have like a long-term vision of this thing that you want to do. But before you even do that, you need to at least put in those 30 days to make sure that this is something that you want to do. um, and then again, when you decide on a business that you want to do, for example, you want to sell AI automations for local businesses, let's say you want to do that, I want you to focus only on that for 30 days at least. You do not want to be distracted by this new business model you found on Instagram, or this new flashy thing you saw on YouTube, and you're like, this thing I'm working on right now is good, but this new flashy thing that I saw online, I think I can sell way easier. This is where your monkey brain comes in, right? Because your monkey brain always sees the flashy, the easy thing, the easy source of dopamine, and wants to go there. But if you actually control your emotions, and you control your thoughts, you can ignore all those flashy things and focus on the thing that actually matters. Because if this doesn't work, you can go back to those and try those out, right? But right now we're focusing on one thing for at least 30 days. And then after 30 days is over, we make a decision, are we going to move forward with this or not? And then that's where you decide if you want to move forward on, or try to this new flashy thing. Your next step towards success. So once you decide what you want to do for the next 30 days, of course, whatever business you have, you probably need to do some sort of outreach. And the outreach that I use for Instagram and email marketing, I have it in a PDF. I can share with you so that it can help you start um, outreaching and see what works for me. Maybe change it to your own business. So in this PDF, I have blank boxes where you can just swap swap the script to your business and to your audience. So uh, you can just take my exact script for cold outreach, modify it to your business, and start testing it out. Um, if you want my cold outreach script, go to the description or my bio. There's a Google Forms. Put in your email, and it'll automatically send you the PDF for the cold outreach script I used to get my first client after doing it for 3 weeks. So I hope this video helps. I hope you actually consider the things that I talked about, and I know building your business and building your side hustle when you have so many other things on your shoulder can be hard. But I think it's important to realize that there are people who are willing to put in 10 times, if not 100 times more work than you. And that should always be in your mind. When you're trying to give up, you should think that this other guy in India is not going to give up, and he's going to put in 1,000 times more work than me because he's more hungry than me, right? And I am here having a way more comfortable life than him and not trying. So, like, have that in your mind, and I think that's a really like a big motivator to push you towards building that ambition and courage to actually pursue something. So, if you need the outreach script, go to my bio or description. And I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, put it in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. These are 3 secrets that no one tells you when you're trying to start your AI agency. And I think these are the most common mistakes that people make. Number one is overthinking everything. So when you're first starting, of course, it's hard. We all have to go through it. That initial week, that initial month when you're trying to figure things out, it's going to be really challenging. But the thing that you need to remember is you need to be in a mindset where you want to finish everything that you're trying to get done for the day, but not 100%. Try to finish 80%. Like when you, let's say you're trying to build a landing page. For that landing page, you don't have to make it perfect 100%. Let's say you make your landing page, you make all these modifications, but you do only 80% of the work. Because if you get to that perfection phase where you're trying to perfect everything from the beginning, it really hurts you in the long run. Because this is a new business. You're just trying to see if this actually works or not. So spending so much time trying to perfect something that might not even work is really stupid, right? So try to uh, complete your tasks, but do not go above and beyond in this phase, right? So speed beats perfection. We're just trying to get these initial building stones so that you can actually start selling the servers. And we're not trying to compete with these big brands and make our website look exactly like them, right? We're just trying to get things started. So stop perfecting things when you're first starting. Number two, pick one service they need. So obviously, if you're trying to create an AI agency, um, for me, I used to help local businesses, and so I would set up AI receptionists for plumbers and home services, uh, um, cleaning services, roofing services, all these kind of home services, and AI receptionist is something that they need because most of these businesses are not like big companies, right? They're small businesses where there are 1 or 2 people working, and sometimes they're busy on site. Not sometimes, most of the time they're busy on site and they can't pick up the call as they come in. So this is a service that they actually need, right? So and it makes the offer more appealing when you're trying to demo it. Once you do the cold call and they agree to see the demo, it makes it very appealing for them when you're doing the demo because it's something that they actually need. But if you're trying to sell them something that does not help their business, it is just something that you like and you think that they need, but they actually don't need, it makes it really hard for them to consider. And it makes it really a nightmare for you to sell it because it's not something that they need and they don't want to waste their money on. You should think of it this way: your service should bring their service more money. Let's say you charge them $500 a month for this AI receptionist. In return, it should at least save them 5 to 10 um, calls from going to voicemail, which will convert to more money for them. And as a result, they're willing to pay you that $500 because you're bringing in more money for them. So you should think about it that way. And number three, I think this is another big thing that a lot of people underestimate, especially the nerds. They get into AI and they watch all these videos, um, learning about the back end of how these systems work. And then when they get onto the call with their potential client, they go too much in depth, like they explain the back end too much, and it makes the client confused on what the tool actually is, right? Um, because the client is not really the client did not agree to do the demo call with you because they want to see how smart you are, and they don't give a flying f about your skills, right? The reason they're there is because they think that you can bring them more money. So you avoid the mistake of trying to look smart during the call. Instead, you should be aiming to explain how your service is going to bring them more money. Like talk about the money factor, talk about their pain points, um, talk about how if they miss one call a day in 30 days, that's 30 calls, and how much money would that 30 missed calls bring them in each month. Once you get into that side of um, um, demoing your service and demoing what it can bring to table, uh, the the appeal for the client will get higher and higher and higher, and as a result, you're much more likely to close the deal. And lastly, of course, when you're trying to build your business, once you have all the backend set up and you're ready to outreach, the first thing you can do is run ads, and the second thing you can do is to outreach yourself. Running ads are expensive, and I don't recommend it if you're new to this. So the only option you have is cold outreach, email marketing, cold calling, all this kind of stuff. So if you have no idea how to cold outreach, I have a PDF that shows you how to do that. It has all the scripts that I've used in the past to cold outreach for my AI agency, and you can use that PDF to just modify my scripts for Instagram, for Twitter, for email marketing. You can just modify my scripts to your business and start testing them. Um, those are the scripts that got me my first sale when I started my agency. So um, they're they're really amazing for beginners, and um, it like the thing that that script focuses more on is the human connection, because I see so many people when they're sending these outreach messages, they sound like complete robots, and that's why they get no responses, and their messages don't convert because um, there's not that human element in their messages. So, for example, if you're just using ChatGPT to create a script and you send that out, and the person that's reading it is like, "Yeah, this is spam," that sending that email is useless, right? So, when building your script, you want to make sure that there's that human element. Um, for example, um, when building your script, think of it as you are just trying to help a friend that you know. You're just trying to help them solve a problem in their business. You do not want to sound like a greedy robot who's trying to extract money from this business, right? You want to be like that friend who's got the skills and who's got the talent um, that can bring you more money, and at the same time, they're not putting money like um, in the highest priority for them, right? The highest priority for them is helping you. So that's how you want to make them feel like, um, because that's actually what you should be doing. You should be focusing on helping these businesses, not trying to extract money from them. If your service is good, if your service can help them, um, and if you can communicate that correctly, there are people who will pay for that. At this age of AI, where this gap will close really fast. So if you don't use it, there'll come a time where every business will have their AI systems set up, and there will be no need for you. There will be no need for your AI agency. So doors are closing. I don't know how long this AI agency thing can last for, but as long as it's here, and I would say maybe for the next 6 months to 2 years, it could still be here, and there could be opportunities. I think you should at least give it a try, see if it can help you, um, see if you can start making some money with it. But there will come a time where these businesses will not need your service anymore because they're already set up with the things that they need, and it will get much harder to sell your service and find clients that actually need your service. So get the PDF in my bio, click on the link. It'll take you to a page where it asks for your email. Once you enter your email, it'll automatically send you the PDF. It has all my scripts, and you can feel free to modify that to your business. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't give up. This will work. What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your AI receptionist. So I built this AI receptionist for a dentist clinic, and I was able to charge them $4,000 for this AI receptionist. For this specific one, we're going to use vapi, make.com, cal.com, Gmail, and Stripe to get payments. Before I show you a quick demo, I'm going to explain why we're using these tools and what these tools are used for. Um, by the end of this video, you should be able to have a pretty good idea of um, how to go about building your own. Because at this time, 2026, almost every business needs an AI receptionist. And if you can learn this quickly, you can um, make some serious cash doing this. You can have like one-time payments where you set up the system for the dentist clinic, and then they can continue managing it, or you can have a system where you manage it for them, but you charge them a monthly payment. In this case, for this clinic, I was able to do a one-time payment of $4,000. I set up everything for them, and then their team was able to take over and uh, maintain it basically. But everything else was done for them. So Vapi, we're going to use Vapi to create the AI receptionist. Vapi is a really good tool. It lets you basically create the front end of your AI receptionist. And then make.com is the tool that we're going to connect our Vapi um, to kind of control the backend part of things. So for example, when the AI receptionist sends a request, such as create an appointment, make.com will handle that. And I'm going to show you how all that works in the backend. And then we're going to use cal.com to basically manage our appointments. This is going to be our database for the appointments. We're going to use Gmail to send confirmation emails to the users. And then Stripe. Stripe is to send the user payment links if they want to pay online or on the phone. This saves a lot of time so that when they go to the clinic, they don't have to um, make the payment in person. It kind of like handles everything for them, and they don't have to like fill in paperwork and stuff when they're in the clinic. So I'm going to show you a quick demo of how this actually works, and then we're gonna get into how to actually build this. So here's the demo. So this is my website, by the way. I basically sell this service to other businesses too, and you're welcome to use it if you want to once you finish watching this video. But let's see how this actually works overnight. So I have a imaginary clinic here, and I'm going to call them, try to make an appointment. Let's see how that goes. So this is the number I'm going to call.
This is James. How can I help you today?
Hi, James. I want to make an appointment.
Of course, I can help you with that. May I have your name, please?
It's Mike Smith.
Thank you, Mike Smith. What date and time are you looking to schedule your appointment?
I was wondering if you have any time available for tomorrow at 9:30 a.m.
It looks like we don't have any availability for tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Would you like to try a different time? I can offer you two alternatives. How about tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m.?
Yeah, 10 a.m. works. Let's do 10 a.m.
Your choice. Just to confirm, I'll book you for tomorrow, November 3rd at 10 a.m. What type of service do you need?
What kind of services do you guys offer?
We offer a variety of services, including routine cleaning, comprehensive exam and x-rays, emergency visit, fillings, restorations, tooth extraction, and cosmetic consultation. Which one would you like to book?
I'll book the routine cleaning.
Got it. So you're booking a routine cleaning for tomorrow, November 3rd at 10 a.m. Can I have your email address to complete the booking?
It's Mike Smith 202510 at gmail.com.
Just to confirm, your email is mikesmith202510 at gmail.com, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
You're all set, Mike. Your appointment for a routine cleaning is confirmed for tomorrow, November 3rd at 10 a.m. You'll receive a confirmation email shortly. Do you have dental insurance that you'd like us to note? Also, do you need any accessibility accommodations or have any allergy or medical notes to record?
No, I think I'm fine.
All right, no problem at all. If you need anything else or have any questions before your appointment, feel free to reach out. Have a great day, Mike.
Thank
And
you.
we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
So let me clean this up a little bit. All right, so before we dive deep into how you're going to build your vapi, let me just give you a quick overview of everything we have here. So this is the make.com backend for our AI receptionist, and then we have the cal.com, which we're going to use for database, and then Stripe, which I can get into later. Um, all right, so first we're going to start with vapi. With vapi, once you create your account, it gives you 10 $10 in credit. So that's, I think, a lot of credit that you can use to test out your receptionist. But once you get into this page, you go to assistants, and then you create your assistant. You give it a name. So for the model, I'm using OpenAI and ChatGPT 4o mini cluster. Um, so first message, this is the message that, or this is the prompt that the AI receptionist is going to say uh, once the user calls, right? So in this case, it's going to say, thanks for calling Happy Smile. This is James. How can I help you today? And then from there, we're going to write some system prompts. What you can do is go to ChatGPT and then ask it to give you system prompts for vapi for the specific AI receptionist that you're building. For example, if you're building an AI receptionist for a dentist clinic, you can specify that into your ChatGPT prompt, and it's going to give you a really nice list of everything. Um, Obviously, if you have more information from the local business that you're helping, you're going to give all of that to ChatGPT, and then it's going to use all of that to basically generate your prompt. That's how I did it here. This is just, for example, these are the services that, for example, this clinic offers, and these are the prices. So the idea here is that your AI receptionist knows the basics for this business. It doesn't need to know. It doesn't need to know all the uh, like back-end decision makings. It just needs to know some basic informations about that business, such as their open hours, their prices, the services they offer. Like those questions, we need to kind of answer here, and then the type of tone you want the receptionist to speak with when the user is calling, right? Um, Booking conversation flow. You want to make sure that, and once you're building your own AI receptionist, and if you're using ChatGPT, you want to make sure that it builds you a nice flow. So in this case, the flow is to collect the username, and then the preferred date and time for the appointment, and so on and so forth, right? So for example, the conversation flow here is to collect name. These are variables. So preferred date and time, these are all variables that we're going to collect. And then these are the functions. So check availability is a function that we're going to build in make.com. Yeah, the other functions are reschedule an appointment, cancel an appointment, um, book an appointment. So those are all of the functions that we have. And then you can read through this little flow that I have here for booking the appointment, and then this little nice flow for rescheduling the appointment, canceling the appointment, and then you can add more and more functions as needed, right? And then from here, how are we going to pass this information from vapi to our make.com? To do that, we're going to use tool. So every time the AI receptionist calls or makes a request for one of these functions, let's say it makes a request for, let me see, for book an appointment, right? Uh, it's going to check for availability. So these are the functions that I've built in tools. So check availability. In check availability, we have this description for it. And then for the variables, it's the preferred time that we collect. And then the same thing for book appointment. And these are the variables that we're collecting. For schedule appointment, these are the variables we're collecting, and so on and so forth, right? From here, using the API keys, we are going to build a webhook in make.com. So, so in make.com, I've already connected the vapi API keys. So once the AI assistant makes a request, uh, make.com can go through that. So for example, if we're making a check availability request, the request is going to come here. It's going to go through this tool, which is going to basically map out the variables. So these are all the variables I have here. It's going to map out the variables. From there, I have this router based on the function that's being passed here. So for example, if the function is check availability, uh, it's going to route it here, right? So if it's check availability, it's going to route it here. And then this is going to, let me show you how this actually works. So if function.name is check availability, it's going to route it here. And then we're going to get a booking for the requested time. For this example, I chose to do 15-minute slots. So with this HTTP request, we're going to get the info from cal.com. And then here we can check with cal.com. It makes a HTTP request to cal.com. For this example, it's pulling 15-minute slots. And then if we do have that slot available, all right. So there's going to be two options, right? We have a slot available or we don't have a slot available. In the case that we have the slot available, we're going to send back a request to vapi. So it's going to be sent as a webhook. We're going to send back a request to vapi saying that the requested slot is available. All right, so if the slot is not available, we're going to send this to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is going to decide two different slots, um, which is going to be close to the hour they've requested. So, for example, if they requested 3 p.m., ChatGPT is going to come up with two alternative slots, which is going to be 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. We check back with calendar to make sure those slots are actually available. All right, so once ChatGPT gives us those two ranges, we can check all the times that are available in those specific time slots, and then we decide the best two options to give the user. So from there, it sends back the request that at the time you requested is not available, but we have these other two slots that you can use. Um, let's say for this example, let's say the slot was available. From here, once make.com sends the request back to vapi, vapi is going to um, prompt the send another request back to make.com to book an appointment, right? If the user wants to book the appointment, it's going to send the request to book an appointment. From here, as you can see, the function is to book an appointment. We check with cal.com and register that appointment for that specific time. And then we have reschedule appointment. Again, we check the database and calendar. We find the actual slot that that user had booked their appointment, and we change the appointment to the new date, and then we send them an email, and then we let vapi know that we actually rescheduled the appointment. Same thing for cancellation. We check the database for cal.com. We cancel the appointment, send them an email, and let vapi know that the email was sent and their appointment has been canceled. And then if you want to go a little bit more deep into this, we can set up Stripe payment systems where once the appointment is set up, the user can also pay via Stripe before they go to their appointment. So this is basically what the backend looks like. Um, and then for cal.com, once, let's say, user books an appointment, their appointment will show up here. And this is where the clinic can see the appointments that they have upcoming, or the appointments that were canceled, or the reoccurring appointments, and everything else can be managed here by the clinic. So I'm going to give you one last explanation of how these tools are connected. Now that we've gone deep into now that we covered basically everything. So vapi is where we create our AI receptionist From there, we're going to have different functions such as checking availability, booking appointments, canceling appointments, rescheduling appointments, right? Vapi sends those functions to make.com. Using make.com, we decide what we want to do. So, for example, if it's check availability, we make a request to kyle.com. We check the database, make sure that we actually have that slot available. We send back the request to make.com. Make.com sends back the request to Vapi that that slot is available. If that slot is available, make.com sends the request to book the appointment, or Vapi makes the request to make.com to book the appointment. Make.com sends a request to cal.com to insert that exact slot into the calendar, and then make.com makes another request to Gmail to send the user the confirmation email. And if the user wants to do the payment through the AI receptionist, make.com, Vapi is going to send a request to make.com. Make.com is going to contact Stripe. Stripe is going to give us the link for the payment. And so Stripe is going to give us the link to the payment. Using make.com, we send the payment to the user via Gmail. So that's how the workflow basically works here. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. If you want the exact files for my VAPI and the exact files that I used in make.com, there's a form in the descriptions below. It's a Google Forms. You put in your email and it automatically sends you all this info. And if there are specific questions you have regarding this, put them down in the comments below. And if you want to work with me to get help on building this on your own, I can walk you through all the steps because obviously there's going to be a lot of small bugs when you're trying to build your receptions. There are continuous updates with these tools, and things change, things break. That's why if you want to build your own and actually learn this, it's a really good way instead of just buying this one time and then if things break, you have no idea how to fix them, right? If you want all these files, go to the link in the description, put in your email, and automatically, and all these files will be sent to you automatically. Or if you face any issues and you need help, you can email me directly and we can get in touch and I can help you with any bugs that you're facing. And if you're providing these services to businesses or you're building this for your own business, you want to have a pretty good idea of how everything connects and works. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. How to get your first client with 0 followers. This is something that people, when they first start selling their services or get into business, they think that they need to be famous to sell their service. It's actually not about that. It's about understanding that finding the right people for the service that you provide is way more important than showing status of your business to that uh, niche or to that client. So I got my first client when I had about 200 followers on Instagram, and I'm going to show you how to actually optimize Instagram to get these clients without even running ads. The first thing you need to do is outreach. No one is going to know about your business if you're not telling them about it. It's as simple as that. If you want to sell your service, first of all, you need to figure out who needs it. For example, let's say you have a AI receptionist service that takes calls from customers to a specific business, for example, plumbers. You have a, let's say, a AI receptionist service that takes calls from customers 24/7, and then it sends out basically notifications or messages to the business owner that, for example, this person booked at this time. Let's say that's your business business model, selling AI receptionists. Now, you need to find the right type of businesses that need that service. What kind of businesses need AI receptionists? Literally all the businesses need a receptionist. And if they want to get to the next level, they can start optimizing AI receptionists for answering after-hour calls or weekend calls, right? But you do not want to be reaching out to all types of businesses. You want to find a specific niche, one, so you can do tests. Let's say you test with plumbers first. It doesn't work out. You test with construction contractors. Let's say that does a little bit well. You start testing with roofers, and roofers actually in your area works really good. So you can double down. You can double down on reaching out to only roofers. And this is where people completely mess this up, because if plumbers work for me in my area, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work in your area, right? So you need to do these tests and you need to spend time figuring out what niche you want to actually double down on. And then once you do that, let's say roofers are your niche and you tested it, you get a really good conversion rate. After that, you really double down on sending messages. So what I used to do was send at least 100 messages, outreaching via Instagram, email, Facebook, X, and SMS. There are some regulations on SMS that you need to read on, but those were the main tools that I was using to outreach and put my business in front of these uh, potential clients, um, and actually show them that this is a tool that can actually help you, right? So the most important thing, you need to put your business in front of these people, because if you don't, they don't know. They don't know about your business. They don't know who you are, um, and it's not necessary that you have to be famous for these people to consider you. The second thing, once you get people interested, let's say you send out messages for 30 days. Um, that's about 3,000 messages. Um, from there on, there will be a percentage of people that will show interest. Let's say only 10% of those people show interest, right? Or they reply to you, get back to you, ask some sort of a question about your service. They show some kind of interest. Remember, they're not gonna right away right away tell you, yes, I want to buy your service. If they get back to you, even if they just respond with a I don't know, that's a level of interest, right? You want to follow up with them and give them some information about your service. And as soon as you see that they might like this tool might be something that can help their business, you need to give them a free demo. um, what I did for my business was, once the potential client started replying back to my DMs, I would I would right away um, give them the option to do a free demo. And using Calendly, I would book them in my calendar and give them a free demo, a unique, a specific demo for their business. So, for example, if they were roofers, I would quickly go to my AI receptionist bot and um, change it to a roofer receptionist. And it's pretty simple once you have your receptionist set up. Changing it is really simple. So I would do that, and then before my call, I would ask the receptionist a few questions about this specific type of business. And then once I got onto the call, I would show the receptionist to these businesses, and they would be fucking blown away by by what this receptionist can already do. Like, I would give the business's name to the receptionist. I would give their office hours, their location, like everything. And then once once I got onto the call, I would um, basically talk with the receptionist and ask um, a few questions like a customer would, and the person on the call would be blown away by how the receptionist works. And I would say 25% of them, of the people that got onto the call, would book um, the second call with me to purchase this and start utilizing this tool for their business. So free demos, that's like literally the best way to move forward. And the last thing I need to point out here is that like these steps that I explained in this video, I would say 90% of the people already know um, how to how to do these things, right? But the problem is that they don't. Like for example, they send 50 DMs, they send 100 DMs, and then they give up, and they expect 100. They expect to get a client from 100 outreaches. That's not how this works. Remember, if you're running ads, you're putting your business literally in front of thousands, if not tens of thousands of people. But since we're not running ads, we're not in the level to run ads right now because it's the beginning of our business. We're reaching out to these businesses. So you want to reach out as many businesses as you can. So think of it as, let's say if someone was running ads, they reach 10,000 people. You want to do the same thing via cold outreach, right? So if you're sending out 100 DMs a week, that's not going to change anything. That I guarantee you that will not get you clients. You need to be sending out at least 100 um, DMs a day um, to at least start seeing some kind of result. And this is where people like show how lazy they are because they gave up so quickly. They literally give up so quickly after sending 50 to 100 messages and getting zero replies. They're like, I don't know if this is working out. Of course, it's not working out because you only send 100 DMs. um, you do not understand the level of competition that is out there right now. You do not understand the levels that people would go to make money. If you want to make money, you need to put in the the amount of work that these other people are putting in, right? Um, if not more, to start seeing results. And then from there, once you prove to yourself that you can actually get clients via cold outreach, and then after a while, you'll get to a point where the amount of time that you spend cold outreaching is really not worth it um, for the money that's coming in via that type of marketing. That's when you pivot to running ads. Running ads initially can burn a lot of money, but I think if you don't have this foundation and if you don't know like these steps to get your first client, I think you'll have a hard time um, booking clients and closing them, even if you run ads, even if you get a lot of leads. Because if you don't know these simple steps, these initial simple steps, and those first interactions that you do with clients that literally show no interest, and then you give them a demo and get them a little bit interested, and then you get them to buy your service. I think those are really important things that you should do before running ads, because um, this way at least you're not burning money actively. You're the only thing that you're really kind of burning is your time. But when you're running ads, you're burning a lot of money, you're burning time. And if you haven't done this kind of outreach, you will lose those leads that might be interested because uh, you don't have a way to capture those leads, right? You don't have a solid way of demoing your product and closing them because your sales skills suck and you haven't had any practice. So this is how I would go about it. So I have my exact outreach DM for Instagram, Facebook, X, and then I also have my email marketing script that I can share with you, and you can change it to the specific business that you're outreaching. So it's really similar, but you need to change a few things, which the script shows you how to do. If you want my exact script, click in the link either in my bio or the video description. There's a Google form sheet. Click on it, put your email. As soon as I get your email, I have a Zapier system there where it will automatically send you the script. Yeah, hopefully this video helps. If you have any questions, put it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Why is no one getting back to you and you're sending a million messages, DMs, emails? No one is getting back to you. Why? Why is no one showing interest? In this video, I'm gonna go through 3 reasons that I personally think are the reasons that not getting responses. Number one, you're just DMing random people. You're sending emails to random people. This is one of the most common mistakes people make when they're doing cold outreach. And basically, they think that everyone in this world is a business owner and everyone in this world needs their service. This is specifically for people who are selling services to local businesses. If you're assuming that everyone needs your service, you're just delusional, right? You want to find that specific niche that actually can benefit from your service. For example, if your service for local businesses are AI receptionists or AI automation, it doesn't mean that you need to DM cold outreach literally every business you see online because that's not how this works, in my opinion. When you start cold outreach, you need to test with different niches. For example, if you're if you want to help dentist clinics with AI automation services, you can do a test where for a month you only cold outreach dentist clinics and you send 100 DMs or emails a day, right? And then if that doesn't work, you're not getting enough responses back, you can test with a different type of business. You can start testing with plumbers. The point here is that you want to find the niche where you get the most amount of replies back. And once you do that, you double down on that niche, right? So stop outreaching to every person you see on Instagram because that's not the point of outreach. The point of outreach is to find a specific niche of potential clients that can buy your service, right? Because if you DM someone on Instagram about your AI automation services and they're a high school student who have no use for your service, then what's the point, right? So this is the number one reason. The second reason is your messages, your DMs, your emails completely suck. It sounds like it came from ChatGPT. It sounds like a sales pitch. It just sounds like another ad in their face, right? So you want to make it as natural as possible. You want to come off as someone who's actually trying to help them. You want to come off as another human being. Like when you talk to a human being, you don't sound like an advertisement, right? You sound like a real person who's trying to help them. So work on making your script better and start with an opener that sounds like something that a human being would say and stop using ChatGPT for your scripts. Yeah, this one is also really important. Most people think that being famous gets them sales. They think that having a million followers on Instagram is gonna get them sales, and it's gonna. They think that it'll show that their business has a lot of status, and that people would blindly just trust them because they have a lot of followers and they're famous on Instagram. That can play a small role, but that's not everything. You need to have a profile where it shows exactly what your business does, what kind of services you provide, and it should show testimonials from other businesses that you've helped in the past, or it should demo your your services. It should look really professional in terms of actually showing um, what your service provides and how it can help people, instead of posting random videos trying to get more likes, trying to get more followers. So I think those are the top three reasons that I see a lot of people not getting the the amount of replies that they should be getting back when they're sending these outreach messages. You can try to create your own script. You can try to sound like a human and stop using ChatGPT, or you can use the script that I use to land my first client in 2 weeks. So I was sending out DMs for 2 weeks. At the end of the second week, I did my first demo, and from that first demo, I got the client to buy my service. So if you want the exactly the DM that I used, um, there's a link in my bio or description of this video. You can click on it. It'll ask for your email. Type in your email, and you'll automatically get my Instagram outreach script that I use for specifically. I used it for roofers in my local area. So if you have a different type of business, you can a different type of business that you're outreaching, you can just change the name from roofers to, let's say, plumbers, and you can use that because it's a script that is really shown that it works. I've tested it multiple times with different niches, and the conversion rate that I get with that script is really high. So I recommend you getting that script. And if you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments down below. And remember, guys, this game of trying to find clients, this is not something that you can master in 1 week, in 1 month, in 3 months, in 6 months. This takes time. I remember when I was doing my first outreach, trying to sell my service, I also sounded like a bot. I sounded like any other salesperson trying to sell you something. Uh, and I was also trying to find like the best way to word my script to sell my service. But it doesn't matter what you do if you don't sound like a human being. They're not gonna reply back to you. Maybe there are cases where they'll get back to you, but like I would say 90% of the time, if you don't sound like a real human being who's actually trying to help this business and like provide something of value to them, you're not going to be able to sell them. Maybe you can get them to see your free demo of how your service work, but you will not be able to sell them, at least in the long term. So focus on building your page. Focus on finding the correct niche for your service, and then get my script. As soon as you do that, you start sending 100 DMs a day, 100 emails, do 100 cold calls a day. It doesn't matter what kind of outreach you do, but once you have these three things right, then I think it's way easier to start getting positive responses back, and doing demos, and then eventually selling your service. All right, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.